Hey Cancer, this is your general tarot reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of May. Cancer, let's do as we always do. We're going to shuffle the cards and wait on the right ones to come out for you, my love. And in the meantime, let's talk about the energies that you may feel throughout the month. Okay, a few cards come out. There's your first card. I think something has already happened, something has already changed, something has already been felt clearly and understood, and I think it's been quite an emotional time for you, and we'll explain that. Let me get the other cards here. Yeah, one more came out there, and let me choose a few more cards. Let's talk about the energies. So why has this happened? What has been going on? What unfairness has really been kind of happening for you in your life? Well, we leave behind April and also March, April, where there was the big full moon in the seventh house, in the fourth house for you, Libra moon. And this really marked a period for you where you were so sensitive. It was almost like a period of, why are other people deliberately trying to provoke me? Why are they deliberately trying to hurt me? Why are they more interested in being right rather than being caring? You know, it's the energy of listening to people who always have the right argument, the winning argument, that this is right. And you're saying, well, maybe it's right on paper, but if you're not taking feelings into account here, then maybe it's not all that right. You know, we have to talk about things, we have to discuss things. So it was a lot of conversations going on about maybe you trying to get somebody who was, I am right, trying to get them to soften up a little bit and to understand that there's more to this conversation than black and white. Take my feelings into account, listen to me. I find you're being very insensitive. I find that you're just riding roughshod over what I feel, and it's hurting me. It's really hurting me. For some of you, I know that it could have marked a period where love between you and your partner just hit that critical point where you said, look, you've got to be more kind of with me emotionally. So what if I feel things differently to you? So what if I'm sensitive to things that you don't appreciate? But look, if we're going to be in this relationship, then at least know who you're in a relationship with. You're with me, and I am Cancer, and I feel things, and you might think that that's ridiculous, but actually this is how I get on in the world. This is how I do what I do. And look, I'm doing okay, so don't tell me that I'm doing it wrong. So there's a lot of that energy. For some of you, it really marked a period where you had a lot of tears and a lot of sadness over some relationship. Now, that could have been your partner, it could have been a close friend, or it could have been that you were feeling family members or just other people in general were just coming in a little bit too much on you and not being sensitive enough. Making plans, doing things and taking none of your feelings into account. And you just said, that is not right. It is not right. You think you're right. You think you're doing the right thing. But every time you ignore my feelings and every time you tell me I'm ridiculous to feel a certain way, then you're not getting the full picture. Then it's not fair. And this has to change, because if it doesn't change, then I'm going to make some sort of a change here. I'm going to redirect my emotions and my feelings elsewhere. So for some of you, it was very, very strong. Now, for others, this could have really marked a period where you had an agreement with somebody, maybe with a family member, or maybe about a home that you live in, that you rent or that you own, or some family issue maybe, that there was a kind of a unsettling moment there where you had to think about how to approach this. So say maybe you had to think about moving, or you had to think about how to handle certain family members or home situation. And for those of you who live together with your partner, there were probably moments of you know, you need to give me more time and more space in order to understand how we live together better, you know. So it was a bit raw. That's all I can say, Cancer. It was a bit raw. And it might have left you feeling, as this card comes out, does anybody actually know how to love anymore? Does anybody actually know what it means to give unconditional love, to feel the feelings, rather than say, well, I'm right, I'm right? Does anybody actually know how to behave in a way that's sensitive to other people? Me. That's sensitive to me. You know, you bring people in, you bring friends in, you bring situations to my door, and you just want me to accept that it's all okay, that it'll be fine. Because you can argue how fine it is, but really, you're not listening. You're just not listening, and you're just not recognizing how much you've hurt me. You want me to think above my feelings. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. And just because I'm feeling something, don't think for a moment that I'm not trying to pull pieces of the puzzle here together to fix them. You know? Yeah, so I feel that. But the good thing you've got going on this month to kind of save a lot of that energy, Cancer, is your friends, is your work, and is the success that is absolutely coming for you this month in Taurus season. You're going to be very, very, very popular as the Chariot comes out, which is the Cancerian card. Very, very popular. Why? Because the Sun is in Taurus in the 11th house. On May 4th, the new moon, you starting over again in the 11th house, where you're saying, it's time I brought new people into my life, new friends, new teams in work. It's time I got creative and got brainstorming with people who think like me. Because right now, when I look around my environment, nobody is frickin' getting me. Nobody is on that same emotional sweet level as me. And I now need to go out and find people who I can feel are on that same wavelength with me. And that is where I am going to get my success this month, in finding new groups, new teams, new friends, going onto social media and kind of watching things, forums or things like that, that are listening to me. That's kind of what I hear. Listen to me. That hear me, that laugh with me, that have my same sense of humour. Because the people around me don't seem to have any sense of humour right now. They don't get it. So these new friends that are absolutely a gift to you this month in Taurus season are going to make you feel right at home. But there is success. May 6th, Mercury, the intelligent part of ourselves, is moving into Taurus, into the 11th house. So your mind is on making new connections with all of these new people, because luck, great luck comes when you get out of your comfort zone and find these new people. People who know how to love, people who are gentle, sensitive, people who will spend time doing kind of chilled out things with you that you enjoy. And it's a good place for you to be, really. May 15th, as a card came out and actually slipped through the crack in the table. Yeah. May 15th, Venus, the goddess of love and money, moving into the 11th house. So for those of you looking for love this month, you could absolutely find it in a whole new scene, a whole new place with a whole new group of people. This is not the time to go out and about with your old crew. You've got to be brave, bold, and step out on your own with a new group, even if that means, you know, going onto those meetup websites where bunches of people who are kind of on their own in the city or whatever, they've nobody to hang out with for whatever reason, that they all meet up in certain places. Well, maybe that's something, I'm not actually promoting that, but I'm just saying it's something you could do. Go out and find new groups of people who kind of might be a little bit like you right now, saying, I've got so many good things going for me, but I just need a new tribe. And maybe through the internet, you could meet new friends. Really? I know that sounds like, you know, those old awful adverts, you know, come along, meet new friends, and they're all happy and drinking cocktails. But there are great apps out there, and there are great websites out there where you can meet up with people locally that you just don't know them. And the singles, it's possible. It is possible that you might meet not just great friends this month, but even a new great love. Yeah. But when it comes to money, we've all the cards there, by the way, but just let me continue with the energies here. But with all the great vibes happening there, many of you could see a huge success within your career this month. As we enter the month, you have Mercury and Venus in your career house, where you are out there pushing, doing all the hard work. It's been tough, Cancer. I know that. You've been doing the hard slog. But this is the time, May, where it pays off, where you see that reward, that prize, that success. And for those of you who are in any type of competition, maybe with, I don't know, a sports competition, creative competition, I don't know, some business competition, you might see yourself rise, rise, rise. This is a month if you're really pushing for some sort of promotion or elevation in your career. This is where it happens, yeah. Now, May 16th, very key, Mars, the one who puts drive, energy, lust and passion into something, is going where? He's going into Cancer. And he is in your first house where the North Node is. And he is saying, it's time. You felt that sting for far too long, Cancer, where you were giving all your energy to other people and being somewhat confused by their behavior, somewhat confused by their lack of care, somewhat confused. I don't know, in Taurus season it's to do with the physical. Maybe a lot of you felt you were being pushed around a little bit, or maybe, I don't know, kind of feeling a little bit, leave me alone. I just want to be around more gentle people. Kind of a bit like that. But, excuse me, but with Mars going in there, this is where all your energy gets totally topped up. Because April, it was a bit of a push and you didn't have the energy. You didn't have the vibe, the drive to kind of deal with a lot of things in your life. You just felt, you know what all my energy needs to do? It needs to just relax. My energy is telling me to just get into that bed and just sleep everything off. But this month, it changes. May 16th with Mars in Cancer, this is where you are back in full fighting form, Cancer. But back to make your dreams come true, where the focus is on you. Because Mars can be seen as quite self-driven. In some cases, they say selfish, but it's not selfish in the me kind of way. It's selfish in the, look, the reality is I do come first. All of you I can deal with after I deal with myself first. If I'm strong, then I can deal with you. If I'm happy in myself, then I can deal with you. So there's the energy of, I'm going to take care of me first. Me, absolutely. And all the energy that's coming, I'm going to channel that energy on projects I want to do. Because I've kind of seen now that other people, let them off. Their energy is all wound up to be right, to be correct, to be look at me. You know what? I'm just holding on to this new energy that comes and I'm using it to drive into my future in a successful way. Now, it could mean a lot of you around mid-month decide to get your body organized, get into the gym again, go for walks, take your fitness seriously, take your food, diet, everything a little bit more seriously, because you want your image now to be taken more seriously. So you might be going through magazines or the internet to say, you know, what's a good style for me and blah, 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 all that, and actively working on putting out a good front and then saying, I'm strong. And you might have a great glow about you this month, Cancer, kind of a real healthy, fresh, kind of fresh face glow. But get that blood moving and get that body kind of active, because you're getting your energy back. Now, full moon in Scorpio, May 18th. This is really nice. Some of you, there might be real revelations coming for you this month about a few things. First, about an old romance. Maybe you see things a little bit more clearer now. Maybe you thought, this was the one, this was the one. Maybe there are others that are more the one. Maybe with Mars and Cancer, maybe you're the one. Maybe you're the great love of your life that you discover. But some great truth is coming out to do with even your romantic style. Maybe you might decide to change up your partners, the style of partner that you choose for the singles. But certainly, you might have some huge creative inspiration around the full moon this month. Huge creative inspiration that brings you great success. It could be a bit of a triumphant moment for you around May 18th if you're doing something, promoting something, launching something. This could be a real winner where other people adore what you're doing. They love that, they love it. So it's a high octane month where there's a lot of passion, drive, energy and success. Now May 21st, the Sun and Mercury do go into Gemini, into the 12th house, where your mind and energy is allowed to calm down a little bit again, where you're allowed to breathe and kind of be on your own a little bit again, because I think that you'll be very surrounded by lots of people this month and you get a lot of good support from them, but by the end of the month you're saying, yeah, thank you for that, I just need a little bit of time on my own now. So that's the general vibe. So Cancer, let's, ta-da, go over to the general overview. So we did say something has happened. Something has happened with somebody that you love. Could be your partner, could be a family member or a friend or a business partner. But something has changed and it's changed forever. It's almost like that moment you see it. I see it. I get it. I get that perhaps you didn't think of me in a way that I'd hoped you would, that you didn't consider my feelings about something. You didn't ask me. You just always seemed to override my feelings, to destroy. Did somebody destroy something on you that you loved? Could have been a relationship that fell apart, friendship, something just is never going to be ever the same again. And there are moments, I think, that you've been supporting this, your relationship with certain family members, with others, and you've been propping it up. You've been kind of explaining it away, trying to think, oh, well, they do that because of this. Oh, they behave like that because of this. But look, let's not fight. Let's not argue. Let's keep building it up and propping it up. But a moment came as we entered the month, maybe at the end of April, where it just wasn't viable anymore to support it. And it hurt. It hurt that moment you realized this is really it. This is really who they are. This is really how insensitive they are. That they were so ready to ruin something that I loved. They were so ready to try to take away, I'm going to say, like the fantasy. You know, life isn't black and white. And they're ruining the vibe, and they have ruined some vibe. So somebody has done that, ruined it for you. I'm going with this too. They've ruined some dream of yours about how relationships should be. So I don't know who this person was, maybe a partner, maybe somebody, an ex. It's like, I will never be able to see love in the same way again. I will never be able to see that person in the same way again. I will never be able to support feeling love for them again. So it's quite serious, Cancer, whatever's been going on. With Libra, full moon in Libra in March and April, it could have been a family. Now, it could be somebody you love. Okay, so we touched upon that. But it's just somebody that you thought loved you more. I thought you loved me more than that. I thought you respected me more than that. I thought you'd at least take some of my feelings into account. But you didn't. And things can't ever be the same now because of that. I forgive and forgive and forgive and let things go, let them go, let them go. But this is that moment where I just say, I can't do it. But while this sounds all very sad and hard, and I'm sure you felt it, Cancer, or will feel it as you kind of go into the start of May, there's something good that will come from this. And you're saying, are you serious? Yes. Because there's a kind of moment where you're clearing the space of almost trying to force a relationship between you and certain people, family members, friends, lovers, your own children even perhaps, like trying to force a feeling on them. And this is the liberation, 11th house, it's kind of rising high above it all. 11th house says, you're free. Okay, well, what are you free? I'm free to start exploring what real love is like. But the first exploration comes when Mars, the warrior, the real explorer, goes in and says, well, let's find out who you are. Let's pump you up. Let's build you up. You're going to be built up stronger in order not to accept some dysfunction in relationships or going into relationships from a sense of lack, going in kind of beneath and hoping that they will love you eventually. That has to end. And I think that's what's been played out here on a huge level. You finally saying, these relationships are all fucking, excuse my language, dysfunctional. But I'm not dysfunctional anymore. Maybe you were a little bit, but not anymore. And I take this seriously. And I'm committed now only to finding people who have that wavelength as me, who get it. Who get it. The ones who know how to feel. Friends, family, partners. And this is your big healing. Look, where the divine hand comes out and says, you know, this is the beginning of two ideals of love. The first one is you beginning again to hold pride in yourself and to say, this is my reality, this is my truth, this is how I feel, and I'm not going to turn down the volume on that for anybody. And this heals me. I'm proud that I live my life through feeling things out. I'm not ever going to ignore that again. I'm not ever going to not listen to my feelings again, because that's part of who I am. Taurus season, identifying who you are, body and soul. This is what I have going for me. And look, it's a lot. So there's the first healing. But the second healing could come when you finally say, I need new friends. I need new people around me. I need to put some distance between me and certain people, because it's just not acceptable anymore to be treated that way. I've more dignity, more respect. And now that I understand the toxicity of certain relationships, I'm going to wash that shit clean. They don't get to sit in my beautiful chalice, which is, you know, my body, my soul, my mind, my psyche. That's going to be all purified and washed away now, so that I can start over as a beginner, beginning again, finding people that actually know how to do this shit. The problem was I had bent and buckled myself out of shape to suit them. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now if they want a relationship with me, they're going to have to do some limbo dancing and to do, but kind of contort themselves, whatever way, shape or form they have to, in order to come to me. I just won't accept bad love from anybody anymore. Whoever they are, won't accept it. And what you're certainly, these are two Gemini cards. Now Gemini does move in on May 21st, Sun and Mercury into Gemini, into the 12th house, where you just let certain things go. You're certainly letting go of the tricky people, the ones who rationalize bad behavior. You know, well, the reason why you think I'm being bad, it's all because you don't understand. It's all because you're oversensitive, too feely. You know, you got to get with the program. It's not all about your... tricky people trying to give you a dialogue of why you're wrong. And you're saying it doesn't work. Tricky people who always bring you down the wrong road. Really, Cancer. Bring you down the wrong road. Why? Because up until this month, where there's a lot of karmic stuff happening, up until this month, you trusted people. If they came to you and said they loved you, and you're feeling different, you're saying, they're telling me they love me, but I'm feeling different. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I should just trust them, take them at face value. That shit stops. Because words are not enough here. Words are not enough. I don't know if any of you remember seeing that movie years ago, Oliver Twist. You know the musical, the old one? And Nancy said to Bill Sykes, she said, now Bill Sykes was a horrible character, but she turned to him and she said, but you do love me, don't you, Bill? And he turned to her and said, I live with you, don't I? And that was it. There was and she was satisfied with that. Her heart was swollen with love, but he never said anything loving to her. He just said, well, I live with you, don't I? Isn't that enough? And this month you're saying, no, it's not enough. It's not enough. I need to feel it. And this is how I solve the puzzle of love. This is how I solve it. When I recognize that it's not enough to be given little breadcrumbs by people, family members, friends. I've got to just make this happen myself. I figured it out. Figured it out. Some of you really are leaving behind a very, very, very tricky character who's able to argue and debate their way into your heart. It could be a Gemini. I'm not saying it could be, though. But look, this card beside the Cancerian card, but it's in a good sequence. This is where heartbreak turns into strength. You know, Mars is going into Cancer, and this is the Cancerian card, but this character is actually Aries, or Mars. And he's the one driving the emotions, positive and negative. And he's saying, come on, let's get this together. I'm going to pull compassion and strength together, where on one hand you can be very, very soft, and on one hand you can be ruthless. And we're going to bring those two together and know how to handle ourselves once and for all. We don't give to the wrong people, and we don't reject the right, softer people. Instead, we've a correct balance, and we hold those reins and point it in the right direction for success. And this gets you out of that feeling of being very, very, very hurt, deeply hurt. You know, people often say this is a third-party situation. It's possible, but it's not really what this card means. This card means when you were forced to take your feelings out of a situation, and you were forced to think logically about something and deny how you feel about something. So again, it's this energy of, I just hear people telling you why you're wrong to feel a certain way, and you're saying, well, that bullshit ends now, because I'm moving. 11th house, the magic of Taurus season bringing me success. It's that success and my new good friends who are going to somewhat prop me up and remind me how powerful I am, how successful I am, and how important I am. And there's an element of, it's almost to begin with a type of artificial propping up. But that's enough. Sometimes we all need scaffolding to hold certain things up until we get used to it. You know, you ride a bike and you need the training wheels on the back until you get a handle on it. And that's what's going on here. These new people, influential people, or people that you may not actually really know, but they're in a group, maybe a religious congregation, a group of people where you go to see a public speaker or a motivational speaker, and you're in a big crowd of people saying, yes, we all think the same, we're all going in the right direction, we all believe the same, where you're motivated. In fact, if there is an opportunity for you to go to a public event where there is maybe a motivational speaker or somebody who's very positive, somebody who wants you to get ahead in business, wants you to get ahead with your spirituality, wants you to just drive you into a successful feeling, then that is a good place for you to be. Absolutely, really. And I'm just looking down there, the full moon, May 18th, being at an event, that's why I wonder, is that a thing? If you can go to an event where you're all cheering the same thing on, it could be a sports team, but it's this feeling of, I'm not alone. We are all wishing the best for somebody. We are all putting energy in the one direction. And that is, it gives you a bit of magic. I can't quite explain what that will be because that might be very personal to you, but it's a feeling of, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. There are other people out there who want to drive this feeling of positive vibes. So it is actually very important, as trivial as that might sound right now. It does something to you that's meaningful, and only that will be relevant to you. But it's very, very good. But again, it's within a group of people or in a crowd, in a scene, in a new environment, that the singles could meet new love. And if you're in a relationship, you could meet hugely inspirational people. Excuse me, people that remind you that it's possible also for you to be in a key position, maybe earning a top income, maybe making your dream come true. Inspired, inspired, inspired. So it's that high energy of, I feel it, let's go, let's go. And that's what you need, Cancer, after that tricky business, maybe through March and April for you. Now we're coming towards the end of the month, and I see again some family issue. It's getting better, it is improved, but it doesn't improve without a lot of hard push and hard work. But I think the worst of it is over. Maybe feeling that your family weren't taking your feelings into consideration, feeling that, would you look at that? They went and did that thing and completely ignored me, or did something that bothered you. Anyway, that's for sure. But the success of this month kind of makes you feel, I'm over it. I'm over it. It doesn't bother me. I will kind of, how would you say it? I'll maybe give something one last try with a family member or a family situation. But whatever the outcome, win or lose, I'm still going to go and do my own thing. Okay, so that's an interesting idea. But adventure, adventure, adventure is the way forward. You're breaking new ground, and you're not letting anything stand in front of you. No obstacles, nothing will stop you from your success. And if there are any shady people, maybe who are in competition with you in your career or work or whatever project you've got going on, they don't stand a chance this month, Cancer. They really don't, because you're too fired up. But this is your last card, Death. And you say, that can't be good. This is my last card. It's perfect. Because this is a type of death of the old you, and the way you've always allowed people hurt your feelings, that you've always invited certain dysfunctional people into your heart space. This ends. It ends. You've Saturn, Pluto in the South Node in the 7th house, where other people have had a serious effect on you. And it's time to just, like very Scorpio, full moon in Scorpio, it's time to just open the drain and let it all flush down. Their influence on you doesn't matter anymore, because the gift you're being given with certain truths that might really hit home this month, maybe about family, maybe about friends, maybe even about your partner. Certain truths will be that catalyst for change, where you take your focus all off other people and completely turn it around and say, me, me, me. All my energy is flowing back to building me up. The care and the love and the nurturing and the worry and the staying up at night that I've given to other people, that comes back to me. When was the last time you stayed up at night wondering, are you okay, my love? The last time that you woke up in the morning and the first thing you said was, wait a minute, I need to check the mirror. I just need to see, is my best friend okay? My first love okay? That's the drive and energy and power you have to give yourself now. And that's what transforms everything. That the energy of wondering, who, are they okay? Are they okay? Are they okay? No, first person, am I okay? Really, when was the last time you asked yourself that? How are you doing? Am I okay? Is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything I can get you? Is there anything I can help you with? Would you like me to do something for you? You do that for everyone else. Do you do it for you, my love? But now that changes. It certainly changes. Because when death comes in, from May 18th, the full moon in Scorpio, it's all going to change for the better. And you'll have a lot of time with the Sun and Mercury going into your 12th house to allow that kind of death, transformation, rebirth moment take place. So Cancer, it's very powerful. And I love it. And embrace that change, embrace that transformation, and play with it and be creative with it, because it will change everything for you energetically, and especially in your beautiful heart. So my beauty, I'm going to leave it at that, and you know by now that these are just the general kind of emotional landscapes that are going on. To get the real details, you know to come by now to the deep readings on Vimeo, all linked down there below. Come along and we open all the real details right up, and we explore what's going on in love, relationships, the singles, what magic is out there for you, family, friends, money, career, everything. We open it all right up. Link down there below. Please do come along. And if you haven't been there before, you are cordially invited. So, my beauty, I'm going to leave it at that. Have a fabulous month. And I will, of course, leave you with all my love and a great big kiss. Mwah. Until next month, my gorgeous. Bye.